In today's video, I am going to be breaking down Norman Powell because Norman Powell is one of the best role players in the NBA, and we can learn a lot from him if we're trying to get more playing time. Obviously, if you're a player, you need to get more playing time to be obviously seen more by university coaches or whatever. So let's get down and let's check out what Norman Powell does that makes him one of the best, if not the best, role player in the NBA. If you want to be able to shoot the ball better, make sure to go check out the shooting workout that is down in the description below. And if you like the idea of me drawing on this app, it is called Coach Lens, and you can get it down in the description below as well. Okay, so one of the biggest things that role players have an issue with is they are afraid to attack the basket, especially when it comes to the youth level. But if you have an angle, if you have the ability, if you have a mismatch, or you just feel like you could take your man, as Norman Powell is about to do here, you have to be able to do that. That quick glide dribble out gave him the lane to the basket. Obviously, this defender is overplaying one side to force Norman Powell to drive towards his left side. That's exactly what happens here. Norman Powell takes that lane because there was no help defense in help when this defender was overplaying. Because this player was overplaying on one side and there was no help defense that was here, Norman Powell had the lane to the basket, and if you are a role player, which means you are not one of the one or two stars on the team, you need to take advantage of these lanes to the basket every single time, and Norman Powell was able to do that right here. Next is moving off ball. So right here, he sets that screen. That is 100% part of the play. Now, he needs to be able to read what these defenders are doing for his next move. Because he's setting that screen, he has two options. He can kind of drag off or he can roll to the basket. He needs to be able to pay attention to what players are doing. Here, he basically fakes the screen, and now both of these players are guarding the ball handler. He was able to read that there would be no communication or something happening where both players would be chasing the ball. He slipped off, and now he is in a wide open spot with zero defenders around him, and his teammate was able to find him. He may have called for the ball, but stadiums are kind of loud, so maybe not. But his teammate was able to find him, and he was able to pull the wide open three-point shot by finding open spots on the court, by being able to read what defenders are doing and slipping off instead of going by the exact perfect play. Then guess what? Now, for example, here, he's in attack mode. The play was obviously potentially called for him because he receives the ball from an out-of-bounds pass. And he kind of has a lane. He has a defender who's right here. This guy's trailing him, so he can't go slow or else they're going to double team, which he could do the reverse pass out. But does he really want to pass to him, or would he rather take the lane to the basket? Personally, I would take this lane over everything. Especially if you are a role player, you need to be able to create for your team. You need to be able to pull defenders away from your star players on your team. So by you attacking yourself, you're actually doing your team a favor. But when he attacks here, he doesn't just go and do a weak, easy layup. What he does is he creates contact early. See, what we can do when we're attacking the basket is you can get your body into the defender early, and then you can come to a 2-foot jump stop. This gives you the gap that you need to be able to get your shot off. Without this gap, that defender is going to block you 100% of the time. And if you want me to be honest, he'll block you 99% of the time, and the referee will call the foul 1% of the time. So by creating that contact, he creates a gap, which then allows him to get that layup off in time. And of course, there's nothing that defender can do. So now, obviously, the play is being called for Norman Powell. He gets essentially a staggered dribble handoff screen, where this is the screen, this is the dribble handoff. Now, he has his head turned. He wants to be able to see what he is doing. He needs to see what this player right here is doing. He needs to see what he is doing, and he kind of should be interested in what they're doing too. He needs to be able to analyze everything. Man goes over top, which means he needs to cut to the basket. Now it's a 5-on-4 situation, and now he is faced with one single defender. This guy should not be helping off right here, so this could be a kick out if he helps too far. This guy should be the one in help. He should be the one in drop. That's not happening, and Norman Powell is able to get that ball high off glass and in for that layup. By him being aggressive now, it's going to be creating more and more gravity of defenders coming towards him to stop him from attacking that basket, which then leaves more star players on his team open on the perimeter. See, that's your job as a role player. As a role player, you're really not the man who is supposed to be going out there to score. Now, Norman Powell had a game. He had, I think, over 30 points in this game. That's going to happen from time to time. But as a role player, your job is to help your star players score. And by doing that, it's either you need to pass to them, or you need to be able to create something for yourself to draw defenders away from your star players so that your star players are more wide open so that they are then able to score themselves much easier. That is your role as a role player. If you are not doing that role and you're making mistakes, or you're playing too nervous and you're not drawing too many defenders towards you, you're not doing your job and you're probably going to find yourself on the bench. So, if you want to get more playing time, try a couple of these tactics that Norman Powell uses, and he's very successful doing so. Anyways, make sure to go check out my shooting workout that is down in the description below if you want to be able to shoot the ball from further away. And I'll see you guys again in my next video.